Hello world, we're back again with another video for DC Legends, and today I thought we would talk about a couple of the characters that I would love to see come to the DC Legends game. Right now they just dropped Damian Wayne, Robin. They also dropped Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and they've also dropped the Selina Kyle Catwoman. So it got me thinking, what characters would I like to see come to DC Legends? And so you might be a little puzzled because the first character you see on the screen is Superman. Well, we have two different kinds of Lex Luthor. We have two different kinds of Harley Quinn. We have two different kinds of Deadshot. We have three different kinds of Batman, and only one character of the Man of Steel. You only own him if you've been able to complete the entire mission or story mode, or if you spent money to get him. And anybody that's watched the videos that me and Maddie do know that Superman is my favorite character. And so, where I wouldn't expect them just to re-release the Superman character, there is the traditional one that we all know and love, and obviously that's the primary colored blue, yellow, and red version of Truth, Justice, and American Way. What they usually will do is they'll release a different kind of version. So what I thought I would do is start with my top 5 characters that I would love to see added to DC Legends, starting with an alternate version of Superman. So if you've watched or read a lot of comics, you'll see that there's a ton of different kind of Superman out there, and I thought I'd go over a couple of my favorite to kind of give the developers at DC Legends an idea of maybe one of them that they could use as an alternate version of Superman in the DC Legends game. The Lord Superman is a really cool character, and I mean, how cool would it be to have a black and white and red Superman that looked like this to be able to add to your team? As we all know, there's only one Superman, but there has definitely been alternate versions of Superman, and so that might be a cool one to add. This was a really cool Godfall story that was done really nicely. I like the artist there. I like all of the work that was done, and so it's a fairly good story, and more importantly, I really like the artwork that was done, and just the design on the cape, the design of the S. He goes back to Krypton and gets to learn a little bit about his past, and a really cool storyline. It intertwines with just his history, and it's a really cool storyline. I always loved the design of the Superman outfit as well. Here's another one. The Godfall Superman. Of course, they could always do the movie version of Superman. Here we're looking at the Man of Steel version of Superman. Very traditional, red, white, and excuse me, the red, yellow, and blue primary colors that we all know and love, but certainly different than the comic book version. And of course, we're all familiar with the movie version from both Man of Steel and from Batman v Superman. So it would look really cool to have a Superman like that on your team. I know I would love it. Getting ready to take you out with his heat vision eyes. But if I had my choice for any one particular Superman to add in, it would be part of the Rebirth Rebirth Superman, or the Reign of Superman. Of course, the Reborn Superman is the one that I would prefer to see, with the black suit and the silver S on his chest. I've just always thought that was a cool design. I think it would look cool in the game, and yeah, I think that, in my personal opinion, this would be the Superman that I would love to see added to the DC Legends game. Very cool design. And especially since they're going to be doing the Justice League, and a slight spoiler here, I think anybody that has ever read any comics or knows anything about comic books, or if you paid any attention to the movie, you know that Superman's going to be coming back in the Justice League movie, and more than likely he's going to come back in the black with the silver emblem. So I would love to see this version show up in our Justice in the DC Legends game as well. And this might have a close look of something similar to what it might look like. You can see his Man of Steel costume kind of retrofitted with the black and the silver. So from that's the number 5 character that I'd love to see added to DC Legends, a alternate version of Superman. Going on to number 4 is the Jason Todd Red Hood. I think that this would be an awesome character, and when I found out that they were bringing in the Bat family and they didn't add in the Jason Todd, I was a little upset, a little disappointed, and you're going to see another one of the characters in here that follows along that same line. But to start with, Jason Todd Red Hood would be one that I think would be an excellent addition to the DC Legends game. Here showing the another game that's really fun, the Batman Arkham series for I played on the PS4. Started out playing it on the PS3, but eventually moved to the PS4, and it's just a really fun game to play. If you've never played any of the Arkham games, I recommend trying them out. And Jason Todd, the Red Hood, is one that's a good alternate character that they offer in that series as well. And if you know anything about the comic books, again, I think this might be a good add-on later because they're dropping the Damian Wayne right now. And Jason Todd, as many people that have read the comic books, again, I guess a slight spoiler here, he is beaten by the Joker, left for dead, and then returns as the Red Hood, as shown here. There's the Jason Todd character being carried out by Batman, too late to save him, and perceived dead and killed by the Joker. But he returns as the Red Hood, and I would even recommend watching the animated video that they have, the Red Hood, Batman the Red Hood. And in my opinion, that is the best of all of the DC animated features. There's a poster of it there. The next character is the Dick Grayson Nightwing character. Again, whenever I found out that they were dropping characters, I kind of figured that they would do... I figured that they would give us a Robin. I didn't know it was going to be Damian Wayne, but I guess that's really good, seeing as how that still leaves the door open for Jason Todd later as well as for Nightwing. So hopefully we wind up getting Nightwing added to a future patch or a future character that we can either purchase or earn through some challenges. Nightwing, of course, being the original Robin, Dick Grayson, of the Flying Graysons. And goes on, in my opinion, to become even a cooler character as Nightwing. And I think it would just be really fun to get to play as Nightwing, have the entire Bat family, have Batman, you have Dick Grayson as Nightwing, you've got Damian Wayne as Robin, and then potentially even Red Hood Jason Todd. Couple examples here of Nightwing. Whether they go with red or blue doesn't matter to me. Either way, I think that we would have a lot of fun with the Nightwing character playing on DC Legends. So the next character that I wanted to take a look at, after we've kind of gone past the ones that I expected to see in the Bat family, we're going to focus in a little more now on the Justice League. So the number 2 character that I would love to see added to DC Legends would be Martian Manhunter. And Martian Manhunter was the last Martian, similar to Kal-El, Superman. He was the last of his race on Mars and came to Earth as a protector. And I just think it would be really cool to get to add him to the fight and add him to one of our character lists. It'd be really fun to have a Justice League made up of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Martian Manhunter. So it gives you a lot of opportunities to do some different things. And with a strength set, I think that he'd be a really fun character to play with. One of the aspects of the Martian Manhunter that I think would be really interesting, that we don't really have a character like so far, and once we get to the point where we have a large base of characters to pick from, what I think would be cool is one of the cool features about Martian Manhunter is the fact that he can morph into other people. Maybe he could morph into Cheetah and go and make somebody bleed, or he could morph into Batman and go invisible, or he could morph into any number of characters. I mean, the possibilities are limitless, and so that's one of the cool features that you can use for Martian Manhunter. And then, of course, just his alter ego of John Johns. And so I think that he has, with his ability to morph and become other people, I think that the possibilities are limitless on what you could potentially do with him. So we went through number 5, which I would love to see an alternate version of Superman. Number 4, which is Jason Todd, the Red Hood. Number 3, who is Dick Grayson, also known as Nightwing. And number 2, who is John Jones, or otherwise known as the Martian Manhunter. And the number 1 character, I think to nobody's surprise, that we would all love to see in DC Legends is Mr. King of Atlantis, King of the Ocean, Aquaman. No, not that Aquaman. I'm talking about the Aquaman that is rough and tough and could hold his own with anybody in the DC universe. The one that if 2/3 of the world is covered in water, he is the king of all of that. And so if you've read any of the DC comics and have kept up with the New 52 or even the Rebirth, you know that that Aquaman is one of the characters that you don't want to mess with. And he is the king of all that he purveys and all that he oversees. And no pun intended there, but all of the seas belong to Aquaman. As he says here, I am your king. And so really cool character, and one that I'm surprised we haven't seen yet, but I would almost guarantee that in a very near future, in an upcoming month, in an upcoming download, I'm sure we're going to be seeing an Arthur Curry Aquaman coming out soon. We're talking about a character that can hold his own and take out the likes of Hal Jordan anytime that he so chooses. Not just Hal, but he can hold his own against Batman as well. And you can see the worry on Wonder Woman and Superman's face, because they know that Batman's tangling with the wrong guy here. And like I said, even though Superman is my favorite, he can hold his own against Superman as well. And so he's a character that you don't want to trifle with and you don't want to mess with, because he can hold his own with anybody in the DC universe, even the big heavyweights, including my man Superman. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for spending time on our channel. And if you like the commentary that we do here, please drop a like, and make sure you subscribe as well, because we like to drop videos like this all the time. And if there's a character that I missed that you would love to see added to the DC Legends universe, then leave it in the comments. My intent is that I'm going to go in to their suggestions area, and I'm going to leave a link to this video. The developers of DC Legends have asked for us to leave feedback, asked for us to leave our wants and our desires, and future things that we'd love to see in DC Legends. And so if there's a character that I left out that you're just passionate about, then leave it in the comments section, and hopefully the developers will be watching this, and we'd love to see these characters very soon in our DC Legends. And here very soon as well, I'm going to be dropping some of the villains that I would love to see added to the DC Legends game as well. So once again, thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and we'll be back soon.